All right, folks, markets in turmoil tonight. Thank you for joining me live on this special edition of the Short Vol Show Live. Let's take a look at what's going on and see if we can walk in off the ledge here as we watch the markets on a Sunday night. Coming up next on the Short Vol Show Live. Stay with me, folks. All right, so welcome. If you're like me, you checked in with the markets to see what was going on, and you saw us kind of going lower and lower. Now, it gets kind of confusing, of course, these days when you have a holiday. There's all these different futures still trading, so it's hard to tell exactly when's the holiday and when's not, and what is going to be trading and what's not, and when. So I checked in and saw that the future started trading again at 6 tonight, and there was this huge spike, which is almost off my screen already here, but let's take a look. This is a down move right on the sort of open of trading for the evening session, bounced off of basically 2650, rocketed back up, and then has been kind of chipping lower ever since. Not good for longs here, folks. And as we look at VIX Futures, we see the front month future trading up to 2070 right now, with the second month trading 2010. Now that up a point in change. So UVXY, expect it to be up a few bucks, of course, when it opens. UVXY and the VIX will not be opening until tomorrow around 4 a.m. UVXY will start printing. I haven't done the exact calculation in my head as to where UVXY will be, but it's definitely going to be up a few bucks here, as well as VXX as we spike. Definitely, we've made a big move in the last two sessions. If we take a look on the chart here, you can see in the last two sessions that one big down move on on Tuesday, kind of out of nowhere, and then another big down move in the night session today. Now, remember, the trading for the day hasn't started yet, and this is just the session in between, so things could turn around tomorrow before the open. There's nothing most people can do right now with their position, so you just kind of have to sit tight and don't worry too much about this when there's nothing you can do about it. But definitely a big down move tonight. I'm showing right now the Dow futures down 347, the Nasdaq down 116, E-minis down 35. I think E-minis were down as much as 60 at one point earlier this evening. It's funny, I was looking back at my broadcast. I did a broadcast on the open on Tuesday, and I was saying, volatility might probably will stay around here, might firm up, probably won't go that much lower. And little did I know that we would get that huge spike. UVXY was up $10 at one point, and ended up a decent amount in the last session. Let's take a look at UVXY here for a second. So UVXY ended up, I think it was maybe like $7 last session, but yeah. So from 48 to 56 is $8. Well, regardless, up a lot in that last session. And will open, if things continue like they are right this moment, will open up a lot more tomorrow morning again. I would say definitely over 60 if this continues like that. You see that huge spike right there. This not really great for my position, seeing as that I was short the 53.54. I was long the 53.54 put spread. I did have a condor on, so I was short the 48.49 I'm sorry, I was short the 48.47 put spread, which is good. Short the long the 54.53 put spread, which is not good. So, you know, I still have time left on that condor, but at this point, it looks like we're going in the opposite direction with UVXY probably to open high. I would say definitely above 60 if things continue like this into the day tomorrow. Certainly, more volatility is the name of the game moving forward right now. I was talking with a friend about that move on Tuesday and really had a violent spot there where it was about a 10-minute move where the VIX was just going straight up. It went up about 2.5 points in 10 minutes, which is a really more of a rapid move than we've seen in some time. Stuff just really moving around. Now, some people have, you know, sort of blamed the algos for this. As I kind of quiz people on why they thought the market was moving lower, some people said, well, this inversion of rates causing it. Comments by the president. Now, I am a believer that, you know, politics certainly can affect the markets, but and this is good and bad for I guess presidents, but I am not a believer that the presidents have that much effect over the market. So that's good. You know, so when things are going well in the economy in a president's term, I don't think the president can take total credit for it. And when things go bad, I don't think the president is totally to blame for it. I don't think the market is a much more complicated beast than that, and many of these trends are cyclical. And you know, if I was going to be an advisor to President Trump right now, I would advise him that, listen, you personally are not going to be able to do some magic thing or say some magic thing that's going to make the markets rally. It's just, maybe you could do that for a day or something, but it's more complex than that. And any one person does not have a whole lot of power to make the markets rally. Now, you could say something really unexpected and make them sell off, but one person, it's very hard for one person, even if they're the president of the United States, to come on and say, to come up with a plan that will make the markets rally. I was reading some articles saying, well, the president's staff is trying to figure out how to get the markets to go back up. Of course, they're going to try to figure that out, but it's going to be very difficult for them to figure that out at this point. I did do an interview today with Lance Roberts, whose website, realinvestmentadvice.com, I just found, and is interesting spot. He's an interesting guy. He was handling large net worth investors' money since the 80s, and also has a popular, I guess, radio show in Texas. And I had just come across him, but had an interesting interview with him today, which I'm working on right now, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, this down move is kind of sort of unexpected. We don't really know exactly what's causing it, and things could turn around just as quickly and move in a different direction as we just see increased volatility and this stuff chopping all over the place. So there's been sort of a two-way ability to make money in UVXY lately. You could have made money to the long side and the short side. Obviously, you want to keep positions small, keep limber, because anything can happen at any moment. We've seen here. And you know what? I haven't totally given up on this condor that I have. It's not completely out of the question that we could go back below 53 in the next week. I mean, we're all over the board here. It's up $8 one day. It certainly could give back half of that in the next week. But at this point, we're not looking at the downside. We're looking at the upside as we move higher in the volatility products, certainly. If you're going to trade this stuff, be limber. You know, you definitely can make money both ways. Like I said, the market's not going to go down straight down every day. And when we get a rally, you can certainly make money to the downside on a UVXY, VXX. The free money of just staying long-term short this stuff is obviously over. If you've been shorting this aggressively all the way down, you would have gotten your head ripped off on Tuesday's session. And conversely, if you got long in after that down move, you would have made big money as the big move happened on that last session. So there's two-way opportunities to make money, and so I love to see people be successful in this marketplace. The key to that is staying small. Obviously, the days of taking out the new highs every day and not much else happening are over. I expect to see choppy markets for a while now moving forward. But right now the markets are pretty much closed and there's not a lot of liquidity. So take all of these moves with a little bit of grain of salt, okay, folks? Anyway, that's what I have for you this Sunday afternoon. Hang in there. It's going to be okay. We'll see how we are tomorrow morning on the open. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time on the Short Vol Show Live.